I want to start this podcast by acknowledging the custodians of this land, the Ghana people. I wish to pay my respects to their elders because they hold the stories and the traditions of the culture, and I want to further extend that respect, that admiration to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people of this fantastic land. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I hope you're having a wonderful and relaxing time, that you get to spend it with your family and your loved ones, because that's what I'm doing, and it's amazing. I've forgotten how much I missed it, but I hope you are having as nice a Christmas as I am. I really do. You may notice the backdrop is a little different. It's because I'm actually at my mum and dad's in Adelaide. I'm sitting outside the lovely garden. I've forgotten how nice their garden is, but I've actually been able to take some time off from my day job and come and spend time with my family, which is forgotten how much I enjoyed it, and I didn't realise how much I had missed time with my family. I've been able to spend time with my new nephew, my brother and his wife, so it's been fantastic. Less about my personal life, more about why I want to do this. On the flight here, I was watching a Peter Turner lecture. Now, I know I'm a magician, I'm not a mentalist, so I'm a card magician, I'm not a mentalist, but I really like the idea of mentalism and hypnosis. Mentalism because playing cards are a lot of fun. By the way, Pink Fontaines, thank you Stu McCann, these are amazing. Playing cards are amazing, but that show us a trick and then pull out playing cards thing, it's not organic. It's really not organic. And it's excusable because people associate cards with magicians, so that's fine. Sorry, hiccups. But I want to walk the line between this is all fake and this is reality. I want to blur that line because I want to make people question things. I want to make people I want to make them experience wonder that they don't normally get. So mentalism has an advantage over cards in that you can, like Peter Turner style, you can do it anywhere. You don't need cards, you don't need a prop. Obviously there's cards on the table and you get a trick, that's awesome. Or if you're doing a show, that's fine. But that organic magic that is usually incredibly profound, incredibly strong, I feel mentalism has a slight hand up on card magic, particularly Peter Turner style. And then hypnosis again. Hypnosis gives you, again, it's in a slightly formulated and slightly inorganic context. But because you can get inside someone's mind, you can really alter reality. Whether you believe in hypnosis or not, there is some evidence to it. And that bending and altering reality a little bit is true magic. So, I was watching one of his lectures. Sorry, that was a very long tangent, I apologize. I was watching one of his lectures on the plane over here, and he was talking about, amongst other things, the conversational style of his magic, which I really like. I don't like all of his effects, because he's so talented, he can improvise a lot, and he has so much knowledge of language, and sorry, it's a truck going past. Peter Turner he's got so many outs, the way he controls his language, the way he controls everything is effortless, but heavily practiced. And I'm nowhere near at that level. And so some of his effects don't really work for my style. Regardless of whether you got the outs and the experience or not, my style is very different from his. But I like the ideas, and I like the way that it's a conversation, and then he will try something as part of the conversation. And that's the way into the magic. And I love that idea. I really love that idea. So we were actually sitting out here for Christmas lunch, and I tried an effect on my brother. And it did have cards, because there were cards sitting on the table, and one of those tiny little ones that you get in the Christmas crackers. My nephew had eaten half of them, so we only had half a deck. but I did an effect where I got him to select a playing card without looking at it and just leave it on the table, and then I got him to select another playing card using an equivoque. Now the card he had selected was the Six of Hearts, the one that he had slid out of the deck. I knew that because, well, I'm a magician, I peeked. And the equivoque, the Six of Hearts, is quite hard, for me anyway, to make an equivoque for, because I know equivoques that are much more effective for picture cards and court cards. So I used the equivoque, and I just wanted to see where it went. And it went really well. We got to hearts very quickly, we got to a number card in the hearts very quickly, and we got to a lower number card in the hearts very, very quickly. And then he said 2. And the equivoque I had used, I couldn't, because he blatantly said, I want the 2, I couldn't say, okay, we're going to get rid of the 2, and then it just wouldn't have made sense. So I went with it. I said, how incredible would it be if the card that you selected on the table, the one that you haven't looked at yet, was the 2 of Hearts? And he said, oh, yeah. I said, have a look. He turned it over and it was the 6 of Hearts. So it was a miss. It was a miss. But he was still flabbergasted, for want of a better term, at the fact that it was close. That it was a heart. That it was, as a red card, it was a heart. It was a number card from the heart. And I hadn't, in his mind, I hadn't seen what it was. So just because it wasn't a perfect hit, it still was a really strong effect, and it flowed as part of the conversation. It even then continued as part of the conversation, because he then asked, okay, well, how do you do that? Like, how do you do the mind reading stuff? And I explained without explaining, because A, I don't know enough, and B, well, I'm not going to give away secrets. It's Magic 101. But it was quite fascinating. I failed an effect. From a technical standpoint, I got the effect wrong, but I improvised the effect at the time. And even though I missed, it still had a profound reaction. And it served the purpose of making a connection between myself and my brother in that time, in that moment, and both of us walking away with something, which is what magic should be. It's not, hey, I'm the smartest guy in the room. It's, I want to share something with you. I want to share this experience with you. So that was fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. I then did basic vanishes on my nephew, and he was like, ooh, that was cool. But I found the exchange with my brother so much more than fooling a 1-year-old. Like, making something vanish and having a 1-year-old go, yeah, it's fun. But the connection I made with my brother and having everything immersed in one moment, even though it went wrong, so much more. So, where am I going with this? I do talk a lot, I do rant a bit, but I really enjoyed applying something new, applying improvisation and lack of perfection to an effect in a conversational style. Obviously, as I was getting paid to do this, I want to make sure that it does hit, because there is this assumption that if you're being paid, it's going to be perfect. But because this was just conversation, it didn't matter if it went wrong, and it still got a really profound reaction. So, if you're watching my podcasts to learn a little bit about magic theory, which I hope down the line some people do, that's one that I'm really happy that I've discovered. That if you're doing the mind reading stuff, I haven't tried it yet with cards, it might work. It's the moment, it's the conversation, it's the whole thing that creates the effect, not whether it's perfect or not. Obviously, if it had been the right card, it would have been a much stronger reaction, and he would have probably sworn a lot. But just accepting that you could fail, having fun with that, playing around with it, actually creates a really fun moment and a really interesting moment between us. All of this is riffing on, or jazzing of Peter Turner's ideas, on Peter Turner's ideas. So if you get a chance to check out Peter Turner's lecture and you're interested in the mentalism side of things, this was Peter Turner's Penguin Live Lecture 2. He's got some really, really cool stuff in it. He's got a fake, well not a fake, he's got a PK style effect that uses a little bit of hypnosis based on a Darren Brown thing, which is awesome, which I really want to try. But yeah, if you, part of practicing, part of learning the craft is to fail, and I'm really glad that this failure worked out so well. I realise that was quite a long rant of me just talking, you know, the Minion Pants, by the way. A rant of me just talking randomly about an idea that I had for a while, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I hope that we can continue this in the future. I'm trying to line up a couple of guests. I've got a couple of people in mind that I just want to have a chat with, but I feel like it's going to be quite helpful for everyone else. So stay tuned for the next one. If you've got any questions, do you want to see anything, let me know. I'm probably going to do on my next one a review of fontaines, because it's something I've wanted for a while, and I've been talking to a couple of people about them, and they're mixed views, but we'll see how we go. Until then, thank you very much for tuning in on this episode. I really appreciate you listening to me, as boring as it might be sometimes, and I'll see you next time. Have a happy new year, if you catch this one before the new year starts. If not, I hope your new year was happy if you catch this one after the new year starts. Take care, everyone.